Odpoczywaj wieczora.
The movie kicks off with Lucas Hill chilling at home, sipping on some coffee. Later, he's at an airport lounge, setting his watch while watching a video on his laptop. A guy named Fyodor is on the screen, hyping him up about a big diamond deal that's going to make him rich. Lucas is headed to St. Petersburg, Russia, to handle a business deal involving some rare blue diamonds. When he reaches his hotel, he expects to meet his contact, Pyotr, but instead, the receptionist, Raisa, informs him that Pyotr took off about an hour ago. Turns out, the police were about to raid the place, so Pyotr bailed before things got messy. Raisa hands Lucas a new address where he can find Pyotr, some guest house and money. Lucas tries calling Pyotr and reminds him about Boris Volkov, the guy who's supposed to buy the diamonds, but Pyotr doesn't answer. The call just goes straight to voicemail. Shortly after, Boris Volkov himself shows up at the hotel to meet Lucas. Lucas assures him that he'll have the diamonds ready in 2 days and even throws in the whole shipment as a gesture for the delay. Now, Boris isn't just any businessman. He's got strong connections to the Russian mafia, and his brother Pavel takes this opportunity to share a weird story about sweets. Before leaving, Boris reminds Lucas that some South Africans are also in town, hinting that the competition is real. Lucas heads to his hotel room, pulls out a stash of burner phones, and sets up a new one. He leaves a message for Pyotr and then drives to Muni, a remote town in eastern Siberia. When he arrives, Pyotr is nowhere to be found. The guest house receptionist gives Lucas his room key and mentions that someone had called for him earlier. That someone turns out to be Vincent, a guy who seems to have some history with Lucas. Even though Volkov doesn't fully trust Vincent, the guy insists that Lucas owes him a favor and that he's a friend. While in town, Lucas stops by a small cafe, where he gets caught up in a ridiculous argument with some locals over an inappropriate conversation happening nearby. Things escalate quickly, and before he knows it, two guys, Evrim and his friend, jump him outside the cafe. They knock him to the ground, steal his vodka, and leave him lying in the snow. Luckily, Katia, the cafe owner, finds Lucas and takes him back to her place to recover. The next morning, as a thank you, Lucas makes her some French toast. That's when her brother, Ivan, walks in, and let's just say he's not too thrilled to see an American in their home. Katia, on the other hand, seems interested in Lucas. She makes it pretty clear that she's open to spending the night with him, but he hesitates, saying he needs to find Pyotr's brother, Andrei, who works at a nearby mine. Katia isn't too concerned, especially since her brothers have already assumed she and Lucas have hooked up. She eventually agrees to take him to the mine. When Lucas finally meets Andrei, he learns that Pyotr has been up to some shady business. Apparently, Pyotr sold a batch of fake diamonds to a dangerous ex-Spetsnaz guy named Samsonov and his crew. These are not the kind of people you want to mess with. That night, Lucas heads to a bar and drinks with Katia's brothers. At first, they seem skeptical of him, but after a few drinks, they warm up to him. One of them even points out a guy named Anton, who was supposed to marry Katia, but it looks like things didn't work out. They all end up singing together, bonding in the weirdest way possible. Later, Lucas video calls his wife, showing her the house he's staying in. When she asks if he's been drinking, he quickly changes the subject and ends the call. After that, he heads back to Katia's place, where things heat up between them. They share a passionate kiss, and soon enough, they're making love right there in the kitchen. The next morning, Lucas joins Katia's brothers and Anton for a hunting trip. They poke fun at him, treating him like the odd one out. Things take a dark turn when their hunting dog starts barking wildly and rushes off. When they chase after it, they spot a massive bear and start shooting. In the chaos, one of their bullets accidentally hits the dog. Seeing the poor animal suffering, Lucas decides to put it out of its misery and shoots it himself. Later, Lucas returns to Katia for another intimate moment. She shows him a picture of her family and asks him to stay longer, hoping he'll stick around. But Lucas tells her he has unfinished business in St. Petersburg. After spending some time together in the bath, he eventually leaves. Ivan watches him go, clearly not happy about the whole situation. Lucas heads back to St. Petersburg and checks if Pyotr has shown up, but Raisa tells him no. She also mentions that Volkov has been calling him several times a day. Frustrated, Lucas returns to Pyotr's hotel room, searching for the missing diamonds. Instead, he finds a gun and a blue candle, the same kind he saw at Katia's place. Curious, he breaks it open and finds a diamond hidden inside. Immediately, he calls Katia and asks her to come to St. Petersburg, bringing the candle with her. Meanwhile, Boris gives Lucas a call, demanding an update. Lucas buys himself some time, telling Boris that he needs another day and that he has a sample for him. They arrange to meet the next day. As he prepares, Lucas checks his gun and bullets. Vincent also calls, requesting a meeting, but unlike Boris, he isn't interested in the diamonds. Vincent is worried that Lucas is attracting too much attention and warns him that even the FSB is after him. He advises Lucas to drop everything and return to the US. When Katia arrives in St. Petersburg, they head to Lucas's hotel room, where he breaks open the candle she brought. Inside is another diamond. However, after testing, he realizes it's a fake, but a very convincing one. Later, they share an intimate moment, during which Katia asks if diamonds can lose their color. Lucas explains that real diamonds remain unchanged. The next day, he prepares to meet Volkov, leaving Katia behind in the hotel room with some champagne. Lucas hands Volkov the blue diamond he found, but their meeting takes an unexpected turn when Katia suddenly joins them. They end up partying together, doing drugs. During the night, Volkov expresses his admiration for Lucas and offers a twisted deal. He wants them to exchange their women as a sign of brotherhood. Lucas refuses at first, but Volkov's anger forces him to agree. After this unsettling arrangement, Lucas returns to his hotel room, only to find an FSB agent, Aassasin, waiting for him. Aassasin makes it clear that the FSB isn't after Lucas, but they do want him out of Russia as soon as possible. However, before leaving, Lucas must do them a favor. They've arrested Samsonov, who had been dealing with fake blue diamonds, and now they need Lucas to pass the fakes to Volkov. As leverage, they're using Katia. Lucas has no choice but to accept, realizing that Katia's safety is now in their hands. The FSB assures Katia that they'll send her home. Lucas takes the fake diamonds to Volkov, who calls in his expert to inspect them. Thinking fast, Lucas deceives Volkov, who ends up believing the diamonds are genuine and dismisses his expert. Later, the FSB informs Lucas that he's free to go home, while Katia is sent back to her village, where her brother picks her up at the airport. Before leaving Russia, Lucas receives a message from Andrei about Pyotr. Apparently, Pyotr has bought some land near money. Lucas contacts Vincent, asking him to offer Volkov $65 million for the diamonds while stalling the deal. Vincent agrees, but warns him of the consequences if Volkov finds out about the trick. Lucas calls his wife, but hangs up without leaving a message. Instead of catching his flight, he heads to Ivan, Katia's brother, asking for help. He then meets Katia, and they spend one last night together. The next day, Katia and her brothers drive him to Pyotr's hideout. When they arrive, Lucas finds Andrei's dead body inside the cabin. He tells Ivan to leave and take Katia home, but Ivan urges him to leave with them. Lucas refuses, knowing there's no way out for him now. Understanding the danger, Ivan gives Lucas his hunting rifle and leaves. Lucas searches Pyotr's place while Katia checks on him, asking if he's alright. He lies, saying Andrei is coming soon. When she asks to stay, he gently refuses, telling her to go home and promising to make French toast for her in the morning. Before leaving, she kisses him and wishes him good luck. After she's gone, Lucas sets the cabin on fire, burning Andrei's body inside. Before he can leave, Volkov's brother and his men arrive, guns blazing. Lucas takes cover inside a cabin, taking out several of them before making a run for the woods. He fights back, eliminating a few more enemies, but in the end, he's shot in the back by Pavel. As he lies dying, his final thoughts are of Katia, flashing through his mind one last time. And with that, Lucas's story comes to a tragic end.